1300 elo, and both of these players are clearly Age of Empires addicts. We have Sam here playing as the Poles, a new civ introduced recently with the expansion. One of my favorite civs right now. I don't think it's OP either. I actually think it's kind of weak in some stages, but I like it. And then we've got Lithuanians for Padarater. I think this is the player that has 3,500 games, and the other guy has 1,000 games less. What a scrub. But both end up being around 1,300, and this is Mid Elo Maniacs. And 1,300, I imagine, you've got a whole mix of strats. You probably have solid builds, probably have somewhat decent Dark Ages. I think the problems with 1,300s is probably going to be similar to the problems with 1,100s. It's probably the transitions, making sure you're getting the proper units out, the proper timing, things of that nature. And I think since they are at an elo where we're probably going to see some actual builds, I would expect a scout rush here. And based on the look of things, both bases seem pretty open. I prefer Blue's base because of the back berries. In a scout rush scenario, that's always amazing. And then this wood line is a game changer. So if you eventually wall, you just go boop, wall this way. And then maybe wall something like this. Keep everything protected. Walling is a part of Age of Empires. I know people who are really fast and aggressive for years have just been like, walls, we want a wall nerf. Open up Arabia. I want to kill faster. If walling didn't exist, Age of Empires wouldn't be the same. Time windows, strategy, all those things come down to walls. So it's harder now than it was a couple weeks ago because they opened up Arabia, but still very, very doable. Let's see now. So we're going to have... Okay, so 4 on wood for the Lithuanian player. So this could be something other than scouts. 4 on wood's normally an indicator, at least at higher levels. That's not going to be scouts. We have blue pushing in some deer. Now, what I'm curious on is what the scouting is going to be like. Do you guys think these guys are going to be overly greedy with deer? Or do you think they're going to properly scout? If I had to guess, they're going to push a ton of deer, and they might just miss out on scouting a few important things. That's kind of where I'm at. Ooh, a little bit of TC idle time for red. I like this house. I like the diagonal house. The reason for that is you're eventually probably going to want to protect these berries. So diagonal houses this way, and then maybe extending the walls to the edge of the map or around or something. It's not pretty, but ends up being pretty good for you. Good scouting for red. I like that. And we'll see if he wants to move out. And now we have the full work. The full work is unique to poles, and if you make farms around it, you get 10% of the farm's food immediately after the farm completes. Scouting as important on the new Arabia, says Bubbly. I think even more so, honestly. I think it's even more important, but probably around the same. And the reason I think that is because I find the new Arabia really unfair at times. And you need to know if your base is as open as the opponent. Like, for example, if I were to scout the berry position, I would change my strategy if I was red. Like, knowing where the resources are located is very important. I've had a lot of instances where my berries are forward beneath a hill, and the opponent has back berries, back gold with another woodline they can wall to. So I think you do have to always kind of adapt based on what they're doing. But more than anything, you just want to know what they're going to make. It's not even where do you want to attack. It's what are they going to make. Remain, I am casting Red Bull low 5, yes. I am going to be in Germany, and here comes a little bit of walling from Red. Again, I like this. He thought about that with that house. Red's also going out to scout blue. So let's see. Now, we see the barracks for Red. Or not for Red, because I don't know how to do colors, for blue. So this tells me, because it's also a little rushed, that what blue wants to do is go for man-at-arms. And this is something that is very important. If red is able to come around here and see this gold, he'll be able to prepare a little bit, right? By the way, it's a little surprising red still hasn't clicked up. He's going to gold. What? Okay. Okay, so you have to check the gold. You see the wood line, you see the berries, you see that main gold, you need to get good vision on that. This is a very common problem. All the way up to like 16, 1700 even. And then when you go above that elo, which I know we don't touch on too much with stream, but let's just say 2K, which we do on stream sometimes. Then it's like the barracks, and the specific things. Like red right here, if he saw the villagers on gold, he should know there's a barracks. He should find the barracks, and he should track the militia coming in. Now, the thing with blue is he's actually come out on top so far because he's been greedier and pushed in more deer. But half the time, he's probably going to be punished himself because he didn't scout. So it just so happens that here, there's nothing that's coming his way, so he ends up being fine. Yeah, so that would be... The reason I'm harping on so much about this is just because I think it's really important. And it's 1300, so this is more of a coaching opportunity than a, oh my god, look what he's done, you know, the Lowy the Legend style. Okay, so that scout when hitting Feudal Age should attack that villager because you get the extra attack. Blue didn't know exactly where to go, but this is nice. Now, my guess is red is going to try and quick wall this because that's what everyone's trying to do nowadays, but I could be wrong. Oh! Almost had it as well. What the... I wasn't expecting it to actually work. And okay, so it doesn't work. You look at red's position. Red has not scouted the gold. Could have seen that. Could have known the man-at-arms were coming. Doesn't know about the barracks. So he thinks it's just one scout. And red's trying to wall way too much. You're in Feudal Age way too late. You're trying to wall way too much. This New Arabia, you just can't play it like this. New Arabia, you have to focus on military first. And now militia are going to arrive, and I feel like this is going to be a quick game. Like, this is an absolute disaster for red, which was very avoidable. So, how many people learned something small from this so far? Okay, good quick wall from red. See, the thing is, red's got skills. Clearly, with the quick walls, he's got skills. Seems like a solid player, but you put so much more pressure on yourself if you don't scout properly. Now, blue lucked out a little bit because blue happened to find a spot where, you know, things were going south for the opponent. Now red, let's see how red can adapt. I don't know where these villagers are going. To that gold and sending 7 of them. Okay, so the pressure's definitely on because you have 2 on gold. I don't think you need more gold right now. So this is definitely a situation. Oh, God. Now that... oh, God. Oh, God. These men-at-arms are doing so much damage. Another villager goes down. Scout's going to go down as well. I think what happens here is red's pretty good if his build order doesn't get destroyed, and now he's struggling to adapt. What's blue doing? Whoa, blue... Oh, I hate it. I hate it. No, why? 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 And now he hit the TC. But why make your archer range to the north of your gold? Like, the front of your base makes sense. You can send it forward and be ready. And then placing it on your gold is also a little suspect. However, 2 seconds of TC idle time, that's really good. Got the wood and the farming upgrade, which truthfully is not what you want to do. You typically skip the farm upgrade if you're on the back of man-at-arms, at least to higher levels. The reason for that is so you can afford a range, but he didn't make a range. So he chose to do that for the eco. And now he's making a bunch of skirms. Now, listen, guys. It's bad enough when I do Lowy the Legends, and the few of the people who come in here who might be at that elo are like, I never play against these players. Where are these players when I play? Blah, blah, blah. But there's been a completely different list of names that are suddenly very active in chat the second that I get into 1300. And my guess is, just a wild guess, that this is the same story with people who happen to be somewhere around 1300. And suddenly, everyone has to defend their skill by assuming or implying that they are way better than the other 1300s, even though these guys are straight up 1300 just like you, okay? So I ask for a little bit of consideration and a little bit of respect for the players, because if you were better than the 1300s I was showing you right now, you would have a higher rating, okay? It's just, Elo is a pretty good system. Now, blue's eco is way ahead, and I think red has had a disaster of a game. It's pretty sad that red has played 2,500 games, and this is the only one I cast. I'm sure that that will upset him and frustrate him, because red's pretty far behind. But we all have bad games, right? Elo is a good system in 1v1s. I don't think there's any real dispute on that. Like, the matchmaking 1v1 Age of Empires is really, really good. See, majority of players have about like 50 to 60% win rate. It's not bad. I don't think... Now, the real issue would be like there is potential for someone to create new accounts and crap like that, but no, the system's good. Now, what Red is doing is correct here. He's like, he knows he's behind, so he's going to try and rely on the market, and he's going to try and buy his way up. The problem is he's up against Lithuanians, and he just... Oh, God. I try and defend you, dude. This whole time, you're having a rough game. I'm trying to defend you, but every time you struggle, you really make it worse for this argument I'm trying to make with my viewers right now, okay? Try to get a counterattack in. Now, here he comes with scouts. Blue's on the way to Castle Age, but this will be a little distracting. Blue has the Spearman, though. Oh! Oh, okay. All right, keep an eye on that. Red with the moves. Yeah, Blue's transition, though, was pretty sick here, to be honest. I think at...
My favorite streamer.
He basically got a lot of damage in. He didn't even wall, right? Which was so good for his eco. And he's going to be up now right after 20 minutes. This is a very clean build. But there's such a wide gap between Blue and Red right now because Red took so much damage. The idle time's double. Also lost 2 villagers. Also Lithuanians start with a lot of food. Also not even adding farms next to the full work, which is probably just habit, so. Yeah, scouts were, in theory, a pretty good addition if you think the enemy's going to go skirm. But I question how much damage this is going to be able to do. Even if you take out the skirms, I'm pretty sure Blue wants to go into Knights, so... But I mean, if Red wasn't so far behind... A decent micro here from Red. If Red wasn't so far behind, I think Blue could have really hurt himself here with the lack of walling. This is kind of weird to me. Nice micro from Red. Now you're starting to see it. He just wasn't able to take control in this game. He's going to go back to the gold now. Attack the villagers here. Red's on the way up. Villager down. There's another weak one in there. Red's going to probably go back for her little doinker. Doink! Got her. Nice. And so the KD's 2-2. So what's Blue do now? Okay, so Blue has the skirmishers and spearmen inside the TC, which is probably a mistake because he grouped up everything. He's now making knights. Red's on the way up with a ton of gold. Red's making another stable. Okay, Red just lost that scout. Blue is now going to add the TC. Okay, so let me break down what I like and what I don't like about Blue's position, okay? I don't like these buildings. All these buildings, get them out of here. They make me think evil, horrible thoughts. If he would have walled diagonally to this woodland, like I said in the Dark Age, his base would look perfect. Now, what I also don't like is he's getting to Castle Age faster, and he's going immediate 3TC. Wrath, do you remember the conversation I had with you about this? Wrath was like 1150, 1200 or something. Granted, my advice is not credit to anyone's improvement, but I see a lot of people immediately going for 3TCs when they get faster Castle Ages. And then what happens is they're not pressuring with knights. They don't have military. So I say map control, then eco. And you can do both. You can go second town center, and then you can go one stable knights. But to try and go 3TCs means that you're really stretched pretty thin. You're investing a lot. You don't have all your eco upgrades. You can't make knights. You can't make monks. So he's got to choose a couple things. And so what's happening is he's giving Red an opportunity. He's not getting an additional lead over Red. He's giving Red an opportunity to come back if Red happens to make more knights than him. Yeah, put yourselves in a position to add eco. Exactly. So this is a good coaching lesson. But Red is, I think, simply too far behind, to be honest. Like, he doesn't have his farm upgrade from the first stage. He's getting his wood. Okay, there we go. There we go. And the second TC, I don't mind. I just really would like to see Red actually make farms around the full work, because that's the only eco bonus that he can really work with. At this point, the eco bonus for Lithuanians had already paid off with the extra 150 food at the start. So Red has to react for now. I think Blue will gain a Vil lead. And like I said, I think unfortunately for Red, Blue is just a little bit too far ahead. And we're going to see the Knights go over this way. The thing about Poles is it's kind of it's definitely not as strong as Lithuanians in my eyes. I don't think there's any doubt about that. But it's kind of a tricky civ to play because you can't... you do have to be more mindful of how you choose to take certain aspects of the game. Like the farming thing, that's really specific. You have to pull your villagers to a specific spot of the map. And it's very common when you make TCs to just farm around the TC. And I guess in theory, you shouldn't even do that. Because making the farms ahead of time and then making the full work doesn't do anything. Yeah, Red's struggling here. Idle time, idle time, idle time, idle time, idle time. Hey, Red. Okay, there we go. Cool. Sometimes you just got to make weird noises and everything works out. Pikeman. Okay.
Hi T90.
Oh, it gets even worse for Red. Wait, did Blue not see that? No way. No way. Wow. Okay, well, that's good. I mean, we might see a monk come over here to get that relic. That could have easily been another 8 villagers down. It's crazy to me how he somehow couldn't see the market there. One tile off. But yeah, so Blue is just going to go pikeman defense with a lot of eco and grab relics, and I'm pretty sure this game is over. It should be anyways. Like, there was potential. The thing is, you can get away with what I said Blue was doing, which I felt was a little bit of a mistake, right? To go for 3 TCs, no military. You can get away with it at 1300, but I think you get punished in some instances. I think defensive play is even stronger at Mid Elo because it's hard to make the correct decisions when you're extending. A lot of people overextend. 69 villagers versus 49, not the closest one here. I really wonder, and I'm not going to commit a large portion of my time to casting 1300s, but I really wonder if a lot of games play out like this. The next thing I'm curious about is if Blue will win this one easily, or if Blue's going to take a while to finish off the game. But like, I feel like Man-at-Arms probably gives such lopsided leads to people at this elo because Red didn't scout it, and that's like a common problem. He scouted the opponent. He knew what he wanted to do. I'd say maybe about 30-40% of the time players are just getting surprised by stuff as it shows up to their base. Maybe more. Anyways, Blue's getting relic number 2. Making some more monks, making some more barracks. What do Poles do against Halberdier? A pretty crappy thing to have to face up against, honestly, is the Poles. They probably mix in some castles. They probably go for their unique unit.
Presto.
You go Obuk,
Impero.
or you go for Arbs, which aren't that exciting. Okay. So you go Obuk, and then the I mean, we saw this matchup earlier today. The Lithuanian player, I think, still wins with Paladin if they have numbers, especially with having 3 relics. But that was a 500 elo game, so it's kind of hard to compare those two. Lithuanian Arbs are garbage. Well, Lithuanians don't have Arbs, so yes. They are very garbage. Okay, so Red knows to get the relics. Red's working on that. Red's going to have one. There's one over here. And I guess they're just booming. I think this probably happens a lot as well. Maybe my assessment of the situation earlier was wrong. Maybe it is correct to just go TCs and defense. Like, Blue from this position could do so much damage to Red if he were to start investing into Knights. Enemy doesn't have anything against that, right? You have the lead. I say keep the lead. Take some map control. Flood maybe 15, 20 Knights out. And, oh, no way! This is a problem, right? You gain a big lead in the game. You choose Pikeman as your option. It's a little too defensive. And granted, he's going to say, oh, there was a hole in the wall. That's why I lost. But what about controlling the game? You're ahead. Attack. Attack, my friend. Here he comes with everything. And Red giving himself a chance. Oh my god, those Knights just wrecked so many villagers. It's even again. You've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. How many vills died there? Let's look at the overall vill KD. 16-3. Another villager goes down. Wow. Also, Blue doesn't have as good of eco upgrades as Red does. When you're ahead, make some moves to stay ahead, not just sit back. especially as you go up the rankings, like 1300s. Players know how to control games more. That's exactly what Red's doing. He's keeping things mobile. He's also dropping a castle. Now, I don't like this. I think it's worth placing it on this hill. I know it's a little more risky, but that's what I would suggest. And especially now that you see Blue has brought his knights back. Blue also has a scout next to that relic. Okay, so that's cool. Blue wants to go in. Blue's still in the stronger position because his economy was greater for longer. Right, so he has a lot more food and wood. But that gold count, that stone count for Poles, remember they bring in gold when they mine stone. Not too shabby. It's hammer time over here next to the monk, but the monk doesn't know how to dance, so this is awkward. Like, I've heard the song, I just don't know what to do. Oh, man, right in the back. How many shots does it take? 4 to hit a monk? Okay. And now we see +2 armor for Blue, who has 3 relics. So he gets an additional +3 on top of his +1 for his knights, and I think he's going to commit towards that. Now, here's what's fascinating. Red has the greater economy now. Blue is imping, but Blue hasn't been mining any stone. So you're going to be an imp with a position to get upgrades and make the units, but Red has been mining stone. So if Red goes for castles everywhere, it might be very hard for Blue to break that. Of course, Red does not know that he's clicked up, but just things to consider here. Okay, now we see barracks, which I believe is a mistake because the Civ does not get Halb. Now, it is a new Civ, so maybe Red doesn't know that. But if you don't get Halb, I think the way the Civ is designed, you're supposed to make the unique unit the Obuk, as it kind of works like a Halb. It's supposed to be good against the Cav, but maybe he wants to mix it. Like, maybe you mix it because you're not just relying on your gold unit then. I don't know. I think at 1300 it's probably good. Higher elo, you probably just streamline it a little bit more. But then again, like, maybe you go Pikeman, Obuk, and then of course you need to focus on food. Like right here, finally his full works are starting to pay off. And then you eventually think about winged Hussars, possibly. Blue doesn't even know what the opponent's doing right now. He saw the castle, that's it. See, this is interesting. Red goes out here to drop a castle now, but wouldn't drop this castle on the hill. You see what I mean? That's a little backwards. I think the initial castle was safer. Placing that on the hill would be helpful. Blue should have won this game. Blue was in such a good position. You could blame it on adding the TCs, but I think the TCs gave him a solid lead. I think there was no attempt to send the knights over to the enemy. It was all sit back. It was all focus on defense. And sometimes the best way to defend yourself is to have a little bit of offense. Red's monk got sniped by Blue Scout. That's cheeky. I like that. Gandalf, I don't know how long exactly I'll be streaming today, but I've been online for 4 hours so far, so let's keep it going. Hopefully a few hours more. And now Blue's gonna stonewall! What? I mean, this is a really important area, but I think instead of castling here, I would castle here and just say forget about the stone wall. It does protect a lot of resources. Blue definitely seems to have a very late game mindset, which isn't necessarily awful.
Mandatum.
Okay, Blue is getting Cavalier. Blue is not getting the final armor upgrade, which should be the next thing to consider. Red has more villagers. People were calling GG when Red got attacked earlier. And then there were people like, oh, why don't I ever play against people like that at this elo? The funny thing is I think everyone at 1300 that's watching has probably got a lead like Blue did and then thrown it before as well, because that's just how it works. Red was offended by that comment. He's like, I'll show you what I'm made of. Okay, Blue sees this castle and he thought about it. He's like, do I attack that? Oh, that sucks. Red has gather point set over here, so the Treb goes down. And here comes Pike. We got Pikeman, Obuk. But not elite yet. And conscription's being researched there. I mean, this could easily be seen as a waste for Blue. I think Blue needs to leave this. Okay, taking the fight is fine. I don't know if he wins it. I think it's probably still a mistake, but Oh, thank you. Is that a grilled cheese? Oh my god, guys. I just got a grilled cheese delivered to the casting booth. I was tempted to propose right there, to be honest. I'm not a complicated man. Okay. So blue pulls back. And now there's one treb from blue. Now, we've had many conversations about this, trickle trebbing. You're giving your opponent time to react to you instead of showing up with 4 trebs in their face and taking out their castle if they don't have the response right away. So now I've got that mix of pikemen with the unique unit to Obuk. Remember, blue still doesn't have the final armor upgrade. Paladins are very expensive. The castle's going to stay up. I really need to take a bite of this grilled cheese. Oh my god. This is incredible. And guys, this is my point. You see how bad pikemen are? Pikemen are such a weak unit. 55 HP with 4 base attack. A Cavalier's 140 HP. Imagine if blue had Paladin. Also, imagine if blue had 4 traps. Is making more is now thinking of ranges. I really like the addition of ranges to maybe add some skirms. But yeah, I think red's struggling there because he needs to rely on Obuk that are also not elite. And that's like kind of your main killer unit there. Where did that other relic go? I missed it. Sorry if this is unprofessional. I don't know if blue's making it back to his base with that relic. Oh, he is! He's getting relic number 4 right now. That was sneaky. Okay, chat, can you remind me what elite Obuk costs? Because the other aspect of this is if you're spending a lot of food on pikes, granted, he does need a response right now. You're not going to have the resources for elite. Not the unit, but the upgrade. Isn't it like 1,000 food, 750 gold? $800, $600? That's actually not bad. Okay. That's not bad. Well, he would have had it if he didn't make pikemen. But he is keeping a constant stream of pikemen. So that's good. And I'd say you just snipe the treb with some of these units. Yep, and the rest will fight the cav. What's the pierce armor on an elite Obuk again? There's also militia in there. I honestly feel as though... Okay, he's canceled his pikeman queue to get it. I think Obuk is supposed to be pretty good against skirm and also Cavalier. I don't think blue has played this properly. I think blue's going to get wrecked by this. And I think he's been making a unit which is so gold costly that he's going to have some massive problems because of it. Still attacking this castle. And I ate my words there because we're still not seeing the production from red. He's making trebs and then Obuk. Oh god, this is crucial. I think what he did is he has his castles on a control group. And so he just like shift clicks trebs. But what he really needs now is Obuk. 4 relics for blue as well. Also the extra gold in the back, so blue's in a good spot there. And 3k gold. This is incredible. My life has changed forever. Normally I'd feel bad about talking about food on stream for the people who are hungry. But we're not even close to even, chat, because the amount of times you guys have done that to me. Okay, castle down. So that's going to hurt red because he needed production of the unique unit, which he doesn't have queued right now. Also, lots of farms, which is good. Could even see more of that. But now blue, I think, will end up losing these trebuchets. Now, Lithuanians do get hand cannons, so I think you should be thinking of hand cannons right now. You're going to get chemistry anyways for your skirms. At least that's what you'd want to do. Blue hasn't done that yet. So, I think going hand cannons would be your play against this much infantry. 153 vills for red. But guys, I said it in my video about polls. I feel like expanding eco and just farming everywhere is the way you play the Civ. And eventually you just switch into raiding all the time with the Hussars. There's actually some big concerns for blue. He is 40 on gold, and that's going to run out soon. So whenever that runs out, he's only working with 36 on food. Compared to the food count for red looks a lot better throughout the rest of the game. Yeah, red still doesn't have a way to push these castles. So they're both just kind of tossing units away to each other right now. Like, in some ways, I think red's better off because of the farming setup, but then blue has full relics. I don't know. This is a really tough one to call right now. Like, if I had to bet on someone, I think I would bet on red, but I think blue's in the better position to work with. Really tough to say. Also, red, you now have 166 vills with 8 vills queued. Okay, so show of ones in chat if you've ever overboomed because you just forget to pay attention to your pop. He has so much pop right now in vills. 170 vills. I feel like I should be casting this like an auctioneer. Do we have 175? Oh, we've got 173. Right over there. Do we have 175? We got 174. Thank you, ma'am. Do we have 175, please? 175. Going once, going twice, and... Come on. Help me out. Okay, canceled them. Okay, no. Sold! At 174, and he just deleted 30 of them somewhere. Oh my god. Okay. Well, the value on those villagers went way down after that person bought it. They're the winged Hussars now to raid. I'm also going to raid my sandwich. Now, blue has learned his lesson with the trebs. We have 3 trebs here. And it's funny, blue's like, I'm killing villagers. This is so good. But no, that's what red needs. Red needs to lose villagers, because then he'll have population space. What about production buildings, though? How many stables do we have? And where are they? Okay, stables here. Not enough. 83 on food, but can't even produce the winged hussars. Not producing out of the castles. Red is in the position to win this game. Red is just scrambling right now. Red needs to buy a bit of stone to repair this, but just like I said before, if you show up with a few trebs, it's more likely you're going to take that castle out and take that position. This entire game, like, this entire game shows so many ways to win games. Blue should have won already. And then, 2 minutes ago, I really felt like red should have won. Really competitive game. This shows how perfect you have to be in Age of Empires to have a chance to win. How complicated it can be, and good job from red to pull the Hussars. They'll take out the Trebs. Blue didn't really have any army there to protect it, which was a problem. Blue has 3,000 gold, now decides to get the final armor upgrade, which is good. And Lithuanians and Poles are the only 2 civs that can get Winged Hussar. So, we're going to see some Winged Hussars from Blue as well. It's just Lithuanians are... Their Winged Hussar is so much worse. They don't get access to that unique tech. They also don't get +4 attack. Well, they do get armor, though. So the final armor really matters. Okay, so this is a suggestion I have for all the people out there who struggle to finish games off like this. Grab a few villagers, place stables near the edge of the map, set a gather point, queue up units. If you don't have the APM to pay attention to it, just put it there and queue up units and look back there if you have a moment. But that's so much easier than just producing at home. We have tower shields now, so the skirmishers and halbs are going to be even stronger for Lithuanians. And we still have a very close game here. At this point, there's not going to be much gold left on the map. I mean, blue is mining through some. Blue also has relics, but red just has 1 tile there of 3 on gold. Actually, no, okay, wow.
I'm making
some
pork chops, mashed potatoes and veggies while watching this game, haha.
Now you're bragging about food. I'm sorry, I do feel bad for eating on stream, but I mean, this is going to make me stream longer, so it's perfect. Okay, Blue, what is this? 3 trebs forward to take out a barracks. You do not have control of this area right now, my friend. That's a bit of a problem. I feel like those trebs will just end up going down. If blue were to do what I said with stables on the side and raiding red, red would lose 30 vills. If red would do the same to blue, blue would lose 30 vills. This might come down to the first person to switch focus and raid, honestly. Whoa, 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 whoa. Siege Ram. Where did this come from? Hold on. We'll see if Red's going to be able to support these Rams, but if Red breaks this position, Blue will lose everything. And that's that opens the door for the raid. I think also the relics are back there. We'll see this castle go down. Well, there's Hussars coming in. All the units for Red have gone away. I noticed that Red does not have a queue of Obuk, which bothers me. Like, Red will queue up the Obuk after not having support of the Rams. These guys are so close to having things done correctly. They're just missing one piece of the puzzle in most of these instances. Blue with his Trebs. Red with his Rams. Very defensive game we have here. Age of Empires 2. Okay, so Red now set his gather point for the pikemen forward, but now he didn't take out the castle, so now he's streaming the pikemen into the castle. All these things you've got to deal with. Blue has 5,000 gold. We haven't seen a single hand cannon. I think that's a mistake. I think it's a pretty big mistake. Like, mixing in some hand cannons would work out so well against infantry. That's it. It doesn't seem like the skirmishers are awful. No, they are pretty bad, actually. Obuks are pretty sick here. You would definitely want to, even if it's 20% hand cannons, because their damage output's pretty strong, I think it would help out. Yeah, Red's got full upgrades on everything. The only thing I don't think Red has is the trample upgrade for the Hussars. He's just sending the Hussars into the meat grinder. He's sending the Hussars into the wrong spot. This is good for your main army. But Hussars are a raiding unit. Look at all this exposed eco. It's killing me. But it's such a learning tool for both players. And even if you have to think about it like this, what would happen if Red sent 10 Hussars right here, right now, chat? What would Blue's reaction be? Obviously, Blue would lose Vils. But what would his reaction be? No, he would not go on a picnic with them. He would send... Yes, he would send units there, correct. So he is to send at least one more unit than what you have. And he is to judge that on the fly. So he is to react and send a crap ton of stuff here to deal with that. So if you do that, as finally we're seeing hand cannons from over here, if you do that, that makes you stronger in the middle. And I think Blue just lost this game, by the way. Unbelievable. I think Blue just lost the game. That's a lot of Rams. That's a lot of Obuks. Hand cannons are too late. Paladin never came in. Blue is 5,000 gold in a ranked game, 1,300 elo, which is still a really difficult elo to achieve. And what a beastly performance from Red. Wow. Salutes in chat, please, for Red, because that game was awful. It had all the naysayers saying, oh, 1,300 elo players just raid me with Hussars and kill me. Yeah, that's right. You think you don't meet this guy on the ladder? You better fear this guy on the ladder. Woo. But I think there's a learning tool here. There is a conversation to be had here about Blue's mindset of getting the lead and sitting back. And we're actually going to go back to that right now, because the reason I do mid-elo is to focus on coaching somewhat. I think Blue getting the relics was fine. If you want to add 3 TCs, you know what? Go ahead, live your dream. That's fine. But remember, Blue is in Castle Age, 2 minutes faster than the opponent. He opened with a knight, maybe 2, and then left it at that. Could have been more pressure. Could have controlled the game more. Could have kept Red off these resources. Didn't do it. But yeah, let's fast forward. We end up getting to 28 minutes. 20 villager lead. And what's Blue doing? The logic is not completely ridiculous. It's, I have a Vill lead. Let's keep the Vill lead. Let's sit back at home. Walling and booming. But why not spend your resources on knights? Why not push? Why not take resources away from the opponent? Why not make it so the opponent has to react to you? Because if they're reacting to you, they can't hit you, right? This is a very common problem all across middle elo. Players love to boom. They love to take it towards imp. Put yourself in a better position going towards imp. Control the game so they can't hit you and raid you and come back like Red did. And then it just came down to, in post-imp, Red had a better comp, I think. Skirmisher Cavalier, even with those relics, I think is weaker than Obuk, Hussar, and Pike. So, yeah, that's kind of the way I see it. But in terms of the resources there, great job for Med to expand his eco, finally utilizing the pole eco. That almost reminded me of... that reminded me of that game I uploaded to YouTube where I played, actually, where he didn't really utilize the pole bonuses in the early game, but then he finally had that light bulb go off, and he started to do it. Anyways, you've got more gold for blue. He didn't really get to spend that, which was unfortunate. I really think the Paladin upgrade would have been worth it there. And I also don't even think that that's something you can blame on the Civ. I think it's easy to fall back on that. Make a Reddit post and say that polls are OP. Sorry, Reddit. It's easy to blame the Civ, but I think more than anything, you've got to blame the player there. And look yourself in the mirror, watch the rec, and say, what did I do wrong there? Because I did everything right otherwise. I wish I had another grilled cheese. Man, I wish I had another.